Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Game 2 of this amazing Winter Bracket Finals Best of 3. I'm LD, he's Gods, and this is Navi versus the Alliance.
Game 1 delivered. I don't know how Game 2 can top it,
Jesus.
but even if it doesn't, I'll be happy because that Game 1 was something, and now we're going to see if Navi can bounce back. The Living Dota legend is here for Game 2, though, so Alliance fans out there, your rares are in pretty safe hands, I've got to say.
Lotus here. Alliance fans feeling pretty good. They
Yes.
dodged a bullet there in Game 1. Smokeolig did a nice job as a stand-in, but
Yes.
you could see EGM played fine on the carry, but more comfortable in that support role. When you play together with 5 players for this long and this hard, you like to be in your set roles the best, and they're back to it.
Yeah.
I think EGM enjoyed being carry, but in terms of increasing your chances of winning.
As far as the team aspect goes,
Yeah.
but, EGM definitely loves his farm. And
I think he carries harder from a quote-unquote support role anyway.
Alliance's turn to ban.
Here we go.
he makes plays happen. Now, we're going to look at Alliance playing on the Radiant side. They actually first pick a Bounty Hunter. This is a hero which has really just risen to glory in the 6.79 patch.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Bruno, 10-1, which, no surprise, I think we've cast like 7 or 8 of those Bounty Hunter games, I feel, and every single one, Bounty Hunter does seem to win. And really good at countering junglers in particular. So we saw a Bounty Hunter in Ace, I believe it was, who just... No, it was actually Navi versus Empire, where they just sent their Bounty Hunter. They actually put it onto
Alliance's turn
Kuroki.
to
Yeah,
ban.
one game.
It was a 4-position Bounty Hunter. All he did was follow Chen around the jungle,
Yes.
block his camp, steal his experience, steal some last hits. Will Puppy have the answers? We'll find out. But it was a first-pick Bounty Hunter. Navi quick to reply with a Visage and the Chen, so not afraid of Bulldog's off-lane game.
10
At least not afraid of him
seconds
shutting down the jungler. And, well, Crystal Maiden will be the next choice for Alliance. So a
Yeah.
very
5
aggressive
seconds
support
remaining.
already locked up.
Yeah, because elsewhere Bounty Hunter kept like the Chen level 2 really deep into the game. And that's something which Bulldog could look to do in the
Reserve
Bounty Hunter.
time.
It depends if he wants to go for the harass the Chen or if he just tries
Yeah.
to get some experience and farm out of the lane. Now we could maybe even try and dodge the Bounty Hunter, send someone there in a 1v1 matchup, but either way, Chen never really an ideal hero to go offensive kind of trailing with, and also against the
Navi's
Crystal
turn
Maiden. Not
to
only is there
ban.
Bounty Hunter against the Chen,
Navi's turn
CM
to
Frostbite
pick.
is a great way of dealing with Chen as
Yeah,
well.
you pretty much solo kill the creeps just with one Frostbite.
Yes.
Just a few auto attacks there. And well, for Navi, now working on their 3rd pick, I think the difference between this game and the game that Navi played against Empire, where they shut down Chen, was in that game, Empire were running a push strat. So having a farm Chen was crucial. He needed
Yeah.
a fast level 7. He needed a quick mech and Hand of God. If Navi decide to go for more of a late game lineup and don't focus as much
10
on
seconds
pushing
remaining.
early, then even if Chen gets shut down a bit, it's not as backbreaking as it was for
5
Empire in that
seconds
particular
remaining.
series.
Yeah, Chen can get someone under leveled here as long as their whatever Havost is on is doing well. They've got a Visage as
Reserve
well as a
time.
4-position support who can just do fantastic. I guess I mean with the Chen, it's kind of like they're kind of both kind of a 4/5, but either way, Navi have their options. I don't think they'll go for an all-out push strat here. They do have the opportunity to do so, but I think more likely we look at Havost playing some kind of traditional carry, be it your Alchemist, your Anti-Mage, your Weaver. All these heroes still in the pool. The only carry of his getting banned out, which Alliance ban out every time they verse Navi, is the Lifesteal. This hero never gets through the pool when these two teams verse each other.
Well, and it shouldn't, because Havost is
Yeah.
too damn good at it. And more importantly,
Alliance's
Navi are too good at fitting it into their overall strategies.
Yeah.
They love to combo with the Dendy Puck, the Dendy Storm, and they're just so good at running the pick-off lineups. Normally, they'll even throw a Bounty Hunter in, but of course, that was taken by Alliance. Navi now go for a Clockwork, which looks like it may... Well, we'll have to see. Could be Phoenix Hero, could be Dendy's, but I have not really seen either of these guys play much
Navi's
Clock.
turn
to
Navi
pick.
normally preferring the Prophet, the Darkseer, the Bounty Hunter, even the Windrunner and Mirana for Funnick at times,
The
but very rarely Clock.
Timbersaur's lately been his
Yeah.
the flavor of the month for Navi. That's what they're picking, I'd say, most for him after the Bounty Hunter. But
Do you think it's a Dendy Clock, or are
No,
we just
no,
going to see Funnick on
I think
this?
almost guaranteed to be funny. Navi just realized, like, all the offlaners are being banned out. Like, Bounty Hunter gets picked up, Darkseer and Timbersaw targeted at Funnick.
Yeah.
So Navi are like, hey, look, if we don't pick up Funnick's hero,
10 seconds
Alliance could have picked
remaining.
Clockwork as their 3rd pick and run it mid for S4. So, like, hey, look, I think they just decide we've
5
got to get this now
seconds
because
remaining.
I think they just don't want a Nature's Prophet. I think
Yeah,
it's kind
there-
of fallen off a little
There
bit.
is a Prophet, but especially
Reserve
against Bounty
time.
Hunter and Crystal Maiden.
Yeah.
Bounty Hunter who can hunt him later on, and Crystal Maiden who can gank him in the early laning stage with
Yeah.
smokes very effectively.
And also very good against the treants that come out
Yeah.
into the jungle with Frostbite.
So it's
So,
Frostbite 1, and the other one you right-click it down.
yeah,
So
I'd be very surprised if this is a Dendy solo mid clock. But we'll see what Navi want to get with their 4th pick here. The Windrunner for Alliance is often played as a 4 position for EGM in the support role. They don't usually run it as a
not
solo
an
mid.
not an S4 hero. Bulldog going to be on the Bounty Hunter. Not something they'd ever run as a 1 position either for
Yes.
Lotus. So Navi come out with the Alchemist
There we
now.
go.
So they get some big
Turn
burst
to
damage.
pick.
Great combo here with Visage. And if they catch the Bounty Hunter with Visage, Alch, and Dust, that's a first blood. Almost guaranteed. So especially if Chen's there. So this is where they may just go after Bulldog in the jungle. He'll have to be very elusive here to avoid giving up kills.
Yeah, I think both teams going with very comfortable drafts for them. Na'Vi, Havost on his Alchemist, having a tri-lane that can actually kill the offlaner. This will force Bulldog to have a very... I mean, he's going to be very careful and think pretty hard about what he wants to be doing in that early game laning stage, because they'll have Dust Sentries ready for him. As for Alliance, you've got your CM Windrunner support duo. You've got a pretty comfortable hero for Bulldog in the offlane. They need S4's mid hero, which could be something like a Magnus if they want to go for that again. Then they need Lotus carry, which he's got so many different heroes he can play.
They do go for the Magnus now. Alliance really favoring Mag. This has to be the third game in a row we've seen him on it, if not the fourth. He used it at least once in their previous series versus, I believe it was Team Liquid, in the playoffs first round.
I think Mag's just been doing really well lately. Rock's Kiss used it to great effect with solo on it. Every time I've seen Magnus, just in the last week or so, it's been having fantastic games.
Well, and especially for Alliance, who just build strategies around the hero very well. So they're comfortable with it. The big question is, what does Loda play? You mentioned his versatility, but generally when we see them with a Mag, it's something like a Gyrocopter, maybe a Lifestealer that they combo with it. And since Lifestealer's banned, I would imagine Gyro is what you ban out here if you're Na'Vi, but we will wait and see.
It's Gyro's like your standard go-to carry, but I don't know if it's a hero that Na'Vi are necessarily worried about versus.
There's also, if they want to go a little bit off the wall, Anti-Mage would have been suitable, but
there's always like your Riki or
they like that more with the Wisp. Yeah, I think even potentially a Medusa wouldn't be shocking. I mean, that's a hero that combos really well with Magnus.
I'm not sold on the Medusa. Like I've seen, like Medusa's won a few games here and there. Like obviously that Liquid game, but that was all Elder Titan.
Well, they've got a game to experiment here. Even if they lose this, it does go to a game.
Every time I see Medusa in a game, if the team wins, it never seems to me because of the Medusa. And the one big game where I was Sylar on Medusa and the carry when he went to Ultra late game, and he got completely destroyed because Medusa's not a BKB carry hero, and he was up against multiple Heaven's Halberd, an item which wasn't around 3-4 years ago when Medusa was a top pick. It's a new item, and it's great late game against Medusa, apparently.
Well, you can get a late game BKB if you have to, but it's generally not how you want to itemize. So Gyro's the go-to pick. Outside of that, we used to see Alliance run a lot of Juggernaut for Loda in the safe lane. There was a period where they were picking it quite a bit. Juggernaut, there was Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight does scale pretty well. Synergizes fairly well with Magnus and Bounty Hunter, good at chasing, and can actually outcarry an Alchemist late game if he gets his level 16, has his farm, so we will just wait and see, but they definitely have their options available.
They need a true carry here, it looks like. With Magnus as a setup and Bounty Hunter as your offlaner, who could well be very underfarmed on the level, they need a true carry. Like I think Gyrocopter the safe option, then there's your Morphling type heroes as well.
There's even like a Spectre if they want to take it late.
Spectre's actually a really good option. I completely forgot about it. And it's something that also can benefit a bit from the Empower of the Mag. Yeah. Which is always a consideration. It doesn't mean they don't go Gyrocopter.
Luna, how did we forget? Luna's been like your flavor of the month carry.
Yeah.
Doing decently well. I think Bruno Tomaz, the other Bruno, who works on Dota Academy, although it's been somewhat inactive lately.
People work on Dota Academy?
Yeah. Well, they used to, gods, back in the old days.
Yeah, the birth of Dota 2 stats was Dota Academy. That was the first project, and then other people kind of took it upon themselves to continue
now that Dota is at least my personal favorite, but we all have a soft spot for the original Dota Academy. Of course, shout out to the Brunos, but the stats on Luna are pretty good. She has been winning a lot of games, not as much as our hero Visage, but still quite a few. So we'll introduce our teams now, and with this Luna pick, Alliance secure a pretty fearsome late game. Loda going to be handling your Luna, Ake on the Crystal Maiden. That's going to put Admiral Bulldog onto your offlane Bounty Hunter, starting with the boots. EGM heading top as well, but I'll be surprised if they do a full-on dual lane. We'll wait and see, though. And then S4 are going to be playing your solo mid Magnus.
Well, for the Diet side, we do have Team Na'Vi. They're down one game. They're going to have, in the offlane, it's going to be Funnick on the Clockwork. It's going to be looking to do the Cog Streak here to just funnel the creeps into the jungle. Dendi on a solo mid Rubik. Here we go. Get ready.
New Rubik.
Hold on to your hats. The new Rubik. I want to see an Aghanim Scepter out on him, hopefully, this game. Even without one, just having the Blink 4 stuff, Ultra Mobility. This is a big flashback to TI2.
And this is also how you could counter a Magnus. You got to farm Rubik. And good luck with your RPs, S4. We've got a Magnus and a Rubik on our team.
This guy is like the original Rubik.
The king of Rubiks.
Nobody, like everyone always argues nowadays who's the best Rubik, whether it's Kuroki or someone. They always argue about support players, but Dendi is the true Rubik player. We're going to see Havos on the Alchemist introduce the rest of Na'Vi, Kuroki on the Visage, and then Puppy on the Chen. All eyes on Dendi this game, though. Maybe not in the early game laning stage, but definitely later on. Okay,
so it looks like they may actually do what Na'Vi was doing, which is just have Bounty Hunter constantly looking to block the jungle camps, being a nuisance, while you actually put someone else into the offlane. For Na'Vi, when they did this to Empire, it was Funnick, who actually played the Nyx, and Kuroki on the Bounty Hunter. But we may see EGM just take over the offlane duties and purely be a pain in the rear in the jungle. So this is a bit greedy, but when you're up against Chen, why the hell not?
Yeah,
he's plucked off almost every camp, but this one has spawned already.
Yeah, a little bit late there, but it's still the ward's there, so they may be killed off once, and then it is still there. Puppy's already gone to the far left camp to steal this big creep. Bulldog, though, scouting him out. They'll know exactly what's going on.
They have dust. This is a little bit scary for Bulldog. He's got to be careful.
He needs to just get away because his Shadow Walk is about to wear off. He can recast it. He now blocked this other big camp as well, so he's going to ward up all the jungle. The problem is now, where does he actually go? Like, he needs to just maybe dual lane top, because he can't really go to any other lane for far more experience.
If you're too effective, then you end up not getting any experience yourself, because you block off every single camp. Puppy, well, they're going to notice that this camp didn't stack, so now they know it's warded. He'll drop a sentry. He might get a 2-for-1 here, depending on where he puts it. Meanwhile, S4's found a solo kill mid on Dendi. Skewered him back into the tower, it looks like. And wow, you don't expect to see that very often.
Okay, well.
That hurts.
I talk up this guy, and he disappoints me, LD.
Them gods. That is not a kill that normally happens.
No.
Magnus has to get in range to skewer you back to the tower, which... Sure, he's got better move speed than Rubik, but still, that's hard when he's always got lift to run away.
Well, it looks like Alliance are just going to settle now with a dual lane top, dual lane bottom. They've got given clock, well, not so much as given clockwork. He's got an experience as well as a couple of CS just by cogsing in the creeps in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, top lane, a bit of damage going out, being dished out onto Kuroki. He's not finding the levels just yet, but Na'Vi are just going to be looking to play things slow here without having all those pull camps open to them.
Puppy had that sentry. He has not tried to deward the small camp yet. Figures it's not even worth it. He did manage to deward the medium camp over here, and we'll take care of the sentry that's placed there by Bulldog. Now he'll head over. He'll find a troll for himself, and he'll be taking it over quite soon. Well, we see a hasten up for Funnick Gods. He's heading bottom, and he's going to find Ake. This could easily be a solo kill. He's got battery assault. He goes to work the cogs, push Ake out. Oh, Funnick.
Like
would have had that one.
He is going to drag the creep aggro, so even though he doesn't get the kill, he's still getting a lot out of this offlane, but that looked like a kill going into Navi's way.
And they do manage to deward the pull camp here, so Alliance investing a lot into warding off these camps. Not really getting too much economic damage out of it. Puppy, when he saw the bounty hunter, he just started at this camp, so he got that creep at level 1. He's already hit level 2.5, and Bulldog, while he'll try to block this camp, there's already a sentry ward there in position, so just trying to harass Puppy, slow him down. EGM, he's getting levels here in the offlane, though.
Yeah, and the annoying thing for Puppy is he only has one set of sentry wards, and he has like 3-4 camps blocked out, so he has to pick and choose which ones he's actually dewarding. And right now, his big camp's not spawning are really the big things here. Dewarding the pull is nice and all, but what he really needs is more big creeps. He wants to go for a smoke maybe, but sitting on top of him is this Admiral Bulldog bounty hunter, and he knows Puppy maybe wants to smoke gank mid. Can't do so.
Oh, the stomp just off the mark. Maybe he tries for a dust there, but with boots already up on Bulldog, it just wouldn't matter.
Yeah, Puppy wants to just get away. He's got this central ward here covering him.
Then he could go down here. There is a Janata strike. This could easily be another kill on Dendi. There's a skewer and they'll hit him. One more right click. Dendi will fall. He already used his lift offensively, and he pays the piper. 2 deaths for the solo mid Rubik. And gods, we are seeing that the nerf in particular to his base move speed seems to be affecting him quite a lot.
Yeah, and Bulldog just being so effective this game with his rotations. Annoying Puppy in the jungle, now coming mid for a kill here. He went Boots first item, and having that and then just farms an Orb of Venom allows him just to harass so much and just be such a pest anywhere he goes on the map.
Yeah, now S4 clearing the wave mid, and while Bulldog continuing to harass Puppy, he's got the dust, but what good is it really doing him? Without the Visage here, without the Alk here, they can't actually kill the bounty hunter.
And even if Visage comes, they need all 3 of those heroes. It can't just be Visage raid turning off the lane. They need Alchemist as well. And Havos is saying, look, I've got a free farm lane. Why would I actually leave this lane? And even though he's got a free farm lane, he's actually not doing all that well in CS, because Windrunner EGM doing a great job of disrupting
Level 5. Level 5 off Windrunner against the dual lane.
Well, he said he was back to support, but this is
He was wrong. Now they've gone in mid again on Dendi. The RP's there. Bulldog joins the party, and once again, Dendi goes down. Very rare to see Dendi getting shut down this hard mid. Normally his team gives him more help, but there's no help coming for him. Puppy's stuck, wandering around the jungle, trying to find camps. Consistently, well, the camps are not spawning for him.
Puppy maybe wants to go for a smoke rotation mid, but the bounty hunter is just constantly on top of him, and he doesn't know. If he tries to smoke towards mid, the bounty hunter can just spot him out, so it's very difficult to do it.
Now he comes in. He'll block that mid camp again if I miss, and this one's still blocked by the Observer Ward.
See, Bulldog here, they want to get a kill. It looks like Bulldog is going to go down. Soul Assumption finishes him off.
He's done his damage, though. Kuroki level 3. Puppy just about to hit level 4. He does give a lot of experience back, but still, I agree with you. Bulldog has been very effective already.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter just seems to be so good against junglers, and I think it's going to become I think it's something Na'Vi are going to take from this game is that maybe you just can't pick draft straight into a Chen when your opponents get a Bounty Hunter, because Bounty Hunter just... I don't know.
It's funny because they showed that you can't do that yesterday. They showed how effective this was versus Empire, but maybe just being confident that they could deal with it better, and well...
I don't think they were expecting like an EGM just to be your offlaner. Like they were expecting this
pure
to be a
offlane bounty.
I think the trade-off was going to be, hey, look, you can disrupt our Chen jungle, but we'll have a free farm Havos who can get a Midas at 4 or 5 minutes in. Instead, Havos has had to lane against a Windrunner who is actually like on par and kind of, it's kind of not saying crushing him, but he's preventing him from farming.
Well, it's been a 2v1, so in that sense he is winning. They've gone in again on Dendy. Skewer off the mark, but there is another Shockwave. Dendy's stolen something. He's stolen the Skewer. He tries to run. He's still alive. Shockwave. Is it going to connect? Dendy walks right back into the line of fire, but now they've rotated Funnick. They want to punish this Alliance aggression, and Dendy will get his bailout, albeit a bit later than he would have liked. 2 for 1 there. The bounty and, crucially, the solo mid-mag.
And some much-needed experience picked up by Puppey. That gets him up to level 5, so he can now pick up his second creep, as well as getting enough money for his Arcane Boots if he wants. He may just want to rush a mech here, but Na'Vi desperately needed that. Havos desperately needs some support at top lane. He couldn't actually... Oh, this Sal...
You know what, Gods? It was 1 creep from level 6. Now he's got it. There's your 50 HP regen. Now he's fine.
He's been quote-unquote pulled us out, but
they got to use it on him. They got to use it on him. He can't just sit on it and use it himself. I do want to point out, because we never really talked about it, but they almost got that double sentry D ward. It was just out of range of this camp. I feel like this game would have gone completely differently if they had the double D ward there.
Yeah.
Because then Puppey has access to quite a few camps, and he has access to a camp that's near the lane. He can gank from that camp. There wouldn't be vision for your Windrunner, for the backstabs coming, but just being short on that double D ward really cost them.
So as this game stands, we've had Loda just free farming away, while the Alchemist for Havos has not been farming all that well. Loda's going to be rushing at Helm of the Dominator, start stacking up Ancients, I imagine, and just look to take this ultra-late game as Alliance like to do.
Meanwhile, EGMs, he's found a kill here on Kuroki. Havos is able to stay alive, but now with S4 rotating, they're going to go for him soon. I think. No, Skewer already used.
Spam down the wave here, put Avos under a bit more pressure. They do have the RP though, so if they want to wait around 10 seconds until that Skewer is back up, and Avos is already backing off out of this lane.
No, well, he's got to run really far away because here comes Bulldog. Na'Vi it's one hero after the other that's just not allowed to have fun this game. Nobody's allowed to farm. Nobody's allowed to enjoy themselves. Well,
Dendy
except for Alliance. They're smoked. They're going to find Bulldog here. They dust immediately. They'll lift him up. He ran right on top of them. Throw him back into an Alk stun, and Havost will... No, Dendy will take the kill, and boy, did he need that kill.
Yeah, he Shadow Walks in as well. This is actually... I don't know if Alliance saw that he has Shadow Walk here, so Dendy
Bulldog should have called something, because something got stolen, but... Yeah. Well, do they know is the big question. S4's here. Dendy could start with the right click, then throw him back up. Where's that lift? Oh, it's still cooling down.
Yeah, it's back up now. They get the stun up. There's a Fade Bolt to fall. They need a bit more damage here. Test of Fade is there, and they get S4. That is an important kill for Na'Vi. They're finally getting themselves on the score, but they've got double Chen creeps as well, and it looks like EGM.
And now they're going to get a tower. And all of a sudden, Havost, he'll be right back in this game in terms of farm. With the tower kill, especially if they give him the last hit, he'll have close to enough money. If he wants to go for Midas, it wouldn't be that late. Meanwhile, though, Funnick has gone down bottom lane. Loda as well as Ake combining to kill him off. Looks like Eclipse was used there. And Loda, you mentioned he has a Helm of the Dominator, but haven't actually seen him. He hasn't stacked the creeps yet, so has not had a chance to go to the jungle, it seems.
Na'Vi now sieging the tier 1. Not just Havos catching him. This is Dendy who started off 0 and 4 in a much better place to actually take time these fights. But S4's top, he's got Skewer RP, and that's going to force Na'Vi back. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get this T1 tower, just not quite having enough damage output for it.
Na'Vi backing off. They'll hide in the side shop here. Dendy still with the stolen Shockwave, and, well, S4 saying, I see you guys.
Uh-oh, bottom. They've gone in on
Funnick. Yeah. Oh, who's gone in on who? He does get frostbitten. He wants this tower deny. Is he going to get it off? He's dropping low. The tower deny will go to him. Loda, no mana here for another Lucent Beam. Funnick playing with fire, but in fact, he might even look to go back in.
Yeah,
he's going to run down Ake here.
No hookshot for some time. I think he's going to turn around.
He saw Loda has no mana, but now there's treads up on Loda. Even with the end treads, he still won't have enough. Battery assault to start this one off. Where's that TP reaction? It's not coming. He's cogged in too. Funnick may well get a double kill. No, he's going to go down. The lifesteal from Loda keeps him in fighting shape. Meanwhile, top lane, EGM will fall simultaneously. They get the Windrunner, and now Na'Vi looking at this tower. But Funnick's been dying a lot.
That's where you can tell Funnick is just not that familiar with Clockwork there. He should have just gone for the Crystal Maiden. He cogged in the Luna as well. And Luna plus Crystal Maiden, it's a level 2 Luna Blessing plus 22 damage. Those two heroes just outright click the Clockwork.
Yeah, so. And Luna had lifesteal. Without the lifesteal, I think the Luna might actually die there. But instead, easily able to deal with it.
And when you cog in the Crystal Maiden, Luna can't really attack that easily because of the short range. Otherwise, you maybe get hit by the cogs. So
yeah, can't really help her out. But instead, easily gets the right clicks off. Now S4 on the move. He does rotate into the dire jungle. 3 heroes grouped up. although Navi did take the tier 1, and I guess the big question is, what's Havos going to build this game? 2,000 gold. He was forced to go 3 Unstable Concoction, then and only then back into Grievel's Greed.
He's rushing an armlet.
Okay, so taking a page out of Loda's book. This is what we saw from Loda earlier in the tournament. I think it was actually in Phase 2.
Yeah.
And it proved to be very effective. But they had a Magnus that game, buffing the Alchemist. This game, Navi did not.
It may have been their game against Liquid in the Phase 3,
Sounds,
I think.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest.
It was definitely fairly recently, but
it was 6.79, so it probably was.
Yeah. Well, as it is, Alliance, I think, are in a slightly better position than Navi. They've got Bulldog up to level 6, so they've got Track coming into play. Also, S4 getting very close to a Blink Dagger, and even with that one, he can still look to take part in these fights with a Track, just Shockwave skewer damage, still has the RP, and now Aki even rotating in as well, so they want to get some more kills, and these are going to be Track kills.
Yeah, Bulldog up into the enemy jungle. If they can get the kills, they will be a lot of gold into Alliance's pocket. Now, the net closes. He could end up finding 2, but Dendi lifts and throws back the mag. Still, he's got a skewer. He's lining him up. They'll kill Dendi. That's a Track kill. They don't go for Croaky, but they reserve the RP. Loda even joining this engagement, despite being very low on HP. He has taken over a creep now and is using the Dark Troll Summoner to help fuel this progression, fuel this push. S4 spamming the Shockwave, not content to go in yet. And crucially, guys, there are no familiars in this fight. Meanwhile, though, Havos looking for a backstab on EGM. This tier 1's low top. He's in trouble. Doesn't get off the wind run, but just not enough damage yet. The acid spray was not dropped before the stun, so the damage largely reduced, and Havos unable to get the kill.
Yeah, he's going to look for the TP out there. Havos will get this out enough, so I think actually he could have stayed there, because Navi, Havos didn't have any backup, and Havos down.
He's in trouble now. Aki's going to join this fight. He's got a level 4 Frostbite. He does heal very quickly. 50 HP a second, but now, like you said, it is gone. Netted up. Loda is ganking with his creep. Oh, man. Next level Luna support here. Havos going to go down. That's a Track kill.
I'm guessing it's just Aki microing it, to be honest, and the Crystal Maiden. But
well, I'd like to think that it was Loda.
No, I think Loda needs to focus more on the last hitting, which I'm not to take away from Loda, but if he's microing that creep, it means he's not focusing on his skill, which is kind of more important.
Now the carries have truly become supports, guys, and the supports becoming the carries. As we see EGM already level 9. Well, he has given away a power shot here. Meanwhile, looks like Bulldog stuck around too long top and got picked off. Might have been trying to TP out from the looks of things. Doesn't have one in his inventory now, but ended up going down simultaneously. Middle lane, Shackle, stolen by Denny. They found EGM. They lift him up, throw him back down, and blow him up. Tons of nukes used for that, but a stolen level 4 Shackle shot.
Poppy now stuck on the high ground. Looks like he's going to be brought down. Secured to the low gun. SL's looking for an RP. Only going to catch Crocky. Can Dendi steal it? It looks like he's not going to manage to do so.
He's stolen something
he's
here.
Got RP.
Oh, but he's just going to melt to a Lucent Beam. Never even gets to cast it before going down. Kuroki on the run, barely able to survive with 30 HP. And there's your Mag Blink. 13 minutes in. I feel like we're just back to the good old Mag. S4 just doing work on this hero, game after game.
Yeah, he's not really dropped a beat. Hasn't played the hero in a long time, apart from like a few recent games, but even his first game back, he was playing this hero to perfection. Now we're going to look to engage in 2 heroes done from a bot. They're going to catch out Loda first. Can they get S4 as well? But he's got skewer. They need to change them. It looks like he will skew to the high ground. Dust being deployed here.
There's a hook shot in 3 seconds, but no mana for it.
Yeah.
Funnick went for the Phase Boots build. Does not have the mana for a hook, so fortunately for Alliance, they only lose their Luna. Sure, an important hero, but it could have been a lot worse.
Well, Navi fight on. They're still in this game pretty well here. They've got decent levels, and they have the heroes that can fight really effectively in the mid game. A Clockwork, with the hookshot initiation, they've got the Visage up to level 7. Dendi's got his Blink Dagger up now, so there's your kind of your mobility item for Dendi.
So matching the mag in terms of that Blink, and this is with S4 getting at least a little bit of track hold. Dendi, remember what an awful start he had.
0-4, and
he's 4 and 6.
Crippled.
And he still has a Blink and Arcade Boots. That is honestly impressive. Now he blinks in, he's stolen. Did he steal RP again? No, Empower.
Empower. He just wants Shockwave here more than anything. I mean, obviously RP later on during a fight, but he's looking for a Shockwave just to give him that bit of extra burst damage.
Yeah, meanwhile, if you look at Navi, Havos continuing to farm in the top lane, picks up the armlet, and as you mentioned, went for it pretty early. It is a decent damage item on Alchemist. He is a strength hero, so benefits fully from the additional strength, but this is not really going to accelerate his farm, and I'm a little worried for Navi here. They don't have the best late game. They don't have track hold on their side. And a lot of these heroes do tend to fall off a bit. Chen late game, always solid, but not a huge damage dealer.
Not going to do so.
And he's going to get caught.
Yeah. There's no way out of this one. S4 as well as Aki both here. He's going to
Look at the regen, though. He popped the ult, and it's going to take forever to bring him down. Still alive. Still alive. Finally he'll fall.
Track goes to 3 heroes for Alliance. Na'Vi just unable to do much there. They did have the Chen heal, but it wasn't worth using for that. That was going to be a kill regardless for Alliance.
The new armlet is just so weird. Like, it looks like you're just popping a really fast healing salve when you turn it on.
Yeah.
I miss the old, just turn it on and instantly you get more HP, but
it was
not enough there in the end.
A bit broken in some way. It was just a weird...
a little, but it was a little too easy, like the very original armlet, but...
A bit of a silly mechanic, but looking at this game now, Na'Vi...
Link, skewer, now off the mark.
Okay, S4 looking for those pickoffs still, and he's instantly up to 1k gold with all this track money coming in. Bulldog's got himself phased. Drums can start working on a BKB or a Vlads for the team. Alliance is so good at just distributing the farm between all their core heroes.
Fishing with the hook shot was funny, but off the mark there. I don't think he wants to hit that. Yeah, I'm with you there.
That's track money going Alliance's way if he hits that hook.
Yeah, that's a bad hook. Bad funny.
Strategic miss.
Tactical.
It's making Alliance...
That's a 2009 tactical raise, except it's a hook this time. Shackle's gonna fly, but Avos did get off his ultimate. Look at the reaction times on this guy. He ults while the Shackle's in midair. Now he's on the run. The Luna Force back, driven back by the TP that comes in. Now Dendi with a double damage rune. It's a turnaround, and Havost with those quick reactions. Now Na'Vi into the pit, make it the Roche. While that's happening, there's a big engagement in the river. The familiars go down, do throw out the stuns, but Kuroki goes down. So it's a 1-for-1, but losing the mech for Alliance for this fight means it'll be a lot harder to take this Roshan engagement.
Alliance, no Roche is going on. For the time being, it looks like they don't. S4 is just sort of lingering, actually heading towards the top river, so... Looks like Na'Vi going to get this uncontested. And I think if Alliance knew, they would try and go in and try and stop this happening, especially considering they've got a Blink RP from Magnus. They've still got the Eclipse on Lotus, so...
Yeah,
Alliance.
Even though they would not have their mech in that fight, even though they wouldn't have their level 4 shackle shot, still a pretty strong death ball in the pit, but it's too late. Aegis now up on Avost, up to 1,400 gold. Na'Vi, well, the one hero that could prove to be the X Factor late game is Dendi on the Rubik.
Yes.
The new and improved Rubik. Once you get Aghanim Scepter, it's what, a 5-second cooldown on the spell steal? Yeah, that's it. 5-second cooldown, so if he ever gets to an Ags, then he could steal everything. Eclipse, RP, Shackle, Track, and every one of these spells can be completely game-changing.
Yeah, and that's for Na'Vi. They pick up the mech on the Chen now as well. They're getting some decent little items here. Funnick's looking for his 4-staff quite close down. If Na'Vi, they're going to start taking down towers now with the mech and Hand of God. They can 5-man a lot more efficiently. They do have to worry about S4 hitting Blink up
hook shot, he's going to catch one out. It's EGM trapped in the cogs. There could be a skewer to try and push him out, but no, they get the shackle off. EGM just stands like a man and fights, but now it's Ake. He'll go down next. 2-for-1, barely killed off in time. Well, they did lose their clock there, but a worthwhile trade if you're Na'Vi.
Those cogs were really well placed. Even though Clockwork goes down, he hits the Magnus on the outskirts, burning a bit of his mana, cancelling off his blink, and it means that S4 just can't hit an RP in that fight. And Alliance lose 2 just for a Clockwork there. They also hold the tier 2 tower. They're farming in the other lanes as well. I like what I see from Na'Vi the last couple of minutes, and they're keeping this game very, very close. As we've seen, with these two teams, always almost dead even. Right now, it's a 0 gold difference between them.
Wow. Game 1, it never went beyond, what, 3,000 gold or so?
Yeah.
Until the throne was dying. And this game, a little bit more Alliance favored, but only slightly, and not overwhelmingly by any stretch of the imagination at any point. Na'Vi now get up a bunch of key items. They've gone for pretty cheap, cost-effective items. Nothing that's really like a greedy farming build on any of their heroes. Havost back for a Vlad's here, so trying to take advantage of the Chen, the familiars, the pushing power. He'll just be your frontline tank and not even necessarily your big damage dealer. Hook gonna fly, but it's only, well, actually it's level 2, but just came way short there. Now the Shackle holding Havost in position. S4's got an RP, but he can't get it off yet. He does manage to catch 2. Now he needs to get the hell out. He skewers away. Eclipse from Loda, catching out Funnick, not dead yet. Drops to the tower, but it's Havost. Standing strong, still has the Aegis stun available. He phases past EGM, then he runs the other way, but EGM says, great, now I can shackle you, now your ult's over, and now you're on the run, but he lobs in a long-range stun, catches him from across the world. Now it's on to Puppy, tracked up, Havost, unable to fight anymore. Puppy overstaying his welcome, will go down. Loda's still alive, looking for familiars, cannot get them. Havost retreating out, but they're not done just yet. One more to fall, that will be Kuroki, and that is 4 heroes dead. The lone survivor, Havost, with the Aegis. Very costly engagement for Na'Vi.
Yeah, that was costly indeed. The hookshot not landing. Na'Vi still decide to commit to the fight.
He wants to go in. He wants to go in on Loda here. I think he's going to get him too. The Eclipse was already used. Loda gets stunned up. Familiar stun's going to be coming through. 1, 2. Count him and weep. Loda might fall, but he's too fast there. He's brought away by the track move speed. Now it's Havost who gets skewered back in. And Gods, I think he's dead twice here. There's a Frostbite available. The familiar stuns have already been used. There's nothing to bail him out except that regen. But no, he's back in normal Alk form because he died and came back to life. And Avos will be brought down here. That is a team wipe, and that's an Aegis down. That was multiple bridge too far, to put it mildly.
I think that was the third track kill in that fight as well. Alliance now going to start pulling ahead with a fight like that. That was crucial for them. The big thing there was Dendy was blinking in. He sort of initiated, after the Alchemist done, it was Dendy with a blink lift, but he gets burst down so fast. Dendy is very squishy on this Rubik, just sitting on like 800 HP that fight. Only now he picks up the Ghost Scepter. He didn't have it for that fight. And he just immediately melted to, I think it was a Windrunner Shackle Shot, Power Shot, plus a Lucent Beam.
Oh, in the jungle, we're going to see an initiation here. They catch out Puppy. Well, can he get out? He tries to throw the Centaur Stomp, but S4 nicely juked. Now they Frostbite him. Even uses the Hand of God. Really wants to live through this big Test of Fate. That must have been max damage, and they end up getting the kill. Now Dendy, he's stolen the Frostbite here. He just needs a lift, but he's out of range. He can't get close yet. I think the hook shot's there for Funnick. Indeed it is. They get the lift. Now they've got the range. Toss back into a Soul Assumption, and right back the other way we go. Just when you think Alliance is starting to pull away with the game, Na'Vi get 2 kills, and they equalize the score.
Yeah, Na'Vi, it's a
not track kills,
much smaller victory.
They're not done yet. Hook shot in on EGM. Caught right near the River Horde. Here comes a Avos. Stun's going to fly. He's still got the mech. He just popped it now, but they kill him, and really no trade. Can Dendy, he wants to steal track here, but Bulldog too fast for him.
Yeah, Bulldog's got his BKB, so even if Dendy gets him with a lift or a Frostbite, he will be able to BKB out afterwards.
Yeah. Just stealing track would be worth it, but it's too late.
Yep. Well, back to square one for Na'Vi. They managed to even things up a lot with those 3 kills. It's still, like you say, it's not track kills. It's not quite what Alliance got out of the team fight, but it's kills on CM, Windrunner, as well as Magnus. Slows down Magnus' BKB. They've still got to worry about Loda farming away, but Loda, he's 4-1-4 with a BKB, treads home the Dominator, which is great, but he's not quite reaching that status where he's just snowballing and getting too big for Na'Vi to outcast.
I think the concern right now is can keep on killing him, though. I mean, they have good physical damage. The Vlad, the Armlet on Alk is actually a lot more than what you might think, and the Familiars, but he's not like a guaranteed kill in these fights, especially if the RP's there to bail him out. So he's not there yet, Gods, but Luna, a very efficient farmer. They have a single set of Ancient stacks for him. Could go for more soon, and ultimately for Alliance, I think this is where you just resort to bend but don't break Dota. You've got the Blink RP. You don't have to force issues. Oh no, Funnick jukes away from the RP. And he actually used Blink and Force to get in there. But
yeah, Funnick then looked for a hook shot back.
This is such a big turnaround.
The number.
Dendy, well, he won't be able to steal RP. Already a Shockwave thrown out. But
Funnick is struggling with these hooks. Some of them, at hooks, I'm thinking, well, it's kind of glad he missed. But
good thing he didn't hit that one. But
he's
can Dendy steal track? Oh, that's the other big comeback mechanic. If he does steal track, then all of a sudden, this is easily a game that can go Navi's way.
There's a ton of fantastic spells this game. Mag RP, Luna Eclipse, and that's where the Aghanim Scepter will be a really nice pickup. He still has to get the survivability first. Aghanim's gives you some stats and HP, but you need the Blink, the Ghost Scepter, the Ethereal form it looks like, maybe even a 4-staff, but Aghanim Scepter definitely a great late game item for a Rubik.
I like how Navi's playing this. They keep the pressure up mid. They know RP's down, and it's a perfect time to engage, to force a reaction here of some kind. The Aegis for Avost, he lost it earlier when he died, but nonetheless, they move towards the Ancients, which looks like... Did they actually farm these? Because I was not really paying attention.
They had an Observer
there was a double stack here. I'm not sure
like it may have been picked up by Havost. He's got a Reaver on himself, so
yeah, must have been Havost who stole them, so that's big, because it wasn't a huge stack, it was only a double, but just denying it to Loda is the bigger deal, really.
And he's now overtaken Loda as far as net worth goes, so what you'd normally expect from an Alchemist, but for most of this game he has been behind, and just now Alchemist starting to pull away. He wants to get that Heart of Tarrasque up as soon as possible. Also, really needs an Assault Crash this game as well, so we'll have to... I think Na'Vi are just going to play back, look for a more farming type game, get Clockwork a bit tankier. You can see Rubik start farming towards the Aghanim Scepter maybe. For Na'Vi, I feel like they don't have to force the issue too much. They can also wait for Roshan to respawn and pretty safely take the next Roshan with Chen as well as the minus armor from the Acid Spring.
Yeah, Alliance, this is where they start to struggle a bit because they don't have the best lineup to scout Roshan. They can use a Helm of the Dominator creep. They can try and run Bounty Hunter in Invis, but that's extremely risky. Or they can throw out a Power Shot, but it's not having a Rocket on your team. It's not having Familiars. They can just be hiding in the tree line above it. It's not the best lineup to scout Rosh, and with Rosh having that variable respawn time, well, it could make a difference here. We're about to find out how long is left as the 8-minute timer. I'm learning, Gods. is about to cool down. So now, anywhere from
I just love like look at the Roshan timer is just so stupid and complex. Like it's like blowing up when it goes from the 8 minutes to the next timer.
1 minute to go. This is gonna be a fairly fast one. Here we go.
Alright, well neither Alliance don't really know the timing, which does favor Na'Vi. They've got the better scouting with the Clockwork Rocket. Also can just bring it down in no time at all. So if they scout it out and go for it when Alliance are out of position, don't know it's back up, Alliance just can't contest it.
S4 smoked up. He's the leader of this pack of Rapscallions, but he gets revealed quickly by Funnick. There's no BKB, but S4 does have the force, so you really can't use Hook on him. In comes Avos, though. He wants to start the party. They lift one up. They steal something on Dendy. What was it? It was a Windra. Not the best ability to have. Now your BKB from Loda. Chaos breaking out. The Cogs doing a nice job of zoning everyone out, but it's Funnick just melting to Loda's right clicks. The bounces come through. They get the kill. Now the RP, but it's only on Avos. Has Dendy stolen it?
It's on cooldown.
Unable to get the spell steal off there. No ags for him. Nonetheless, though, Havos still at relatively high HP, but here comes Ake. Big Crystal Maiden ult. Not enough yet, though. Havos healing up rapidly. 91 HP a second. Lotus fallen. Na'Vi just outlasting Alliance here, and with no RP, the fight is over. Ake does fall on the way out. The Crystal Maiden explodes in a cloud of ice, and now...
They used the buyback for Funnick, but well worth it for a fight like that, even if Clockwork wasn't really the driving factor for that turnaround there.
They tried to focus Havos, and I think he got this heart in the fight. Like, his HP regen was 90 per second with his ult up.
And he didn't even have his ult up at the start of the fight. He put it through like halfway through when he was on half HP, but he was so tanky even before his ulti's up. And once that ulti's up, he just becomes unkillable. Na'Vi going to get a tier 2 tower. It looks like they may even keep on pushing. They can back off, take Rosh if they want, but 20 seconds without Luna, they can get some serious damage done.
Yeah, and there's no RP, so do they even stop now? Havost is so tanky in the front lines. I don't know if Na'Vi can, or if Alliance can kill him, but they will play it safe. They do get a shackle here on Funnick. They might get one on the way out, and Na'Vi say, you know what? Funnick, you're done. He could try and hook shot out, though. Is the hook available? 1 second, too late.
Uh-oh, Kuroki's hung around as well. He's actually going to gem Na'Vi.
Oh, the courier! The courier could go down too. S4 blinking in. They're going to get 2 track kills, and it'll be on 5 heroes. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
this game, back and forth. Now the familiar's being done. Oh, barely able to live.
Na'Vi, this is frustrating to watch at times because they get an edge, and then they just throw it away unnecessarily there. They needed to just retreat as a team. They could have all gotten out. They give the gem away, and that's a much-needed gem when you're playing against a bounty hunter.
Look at this graph, just up and down, topsy-turvy game number 2.
They lose Roshan as well, maybe. That's the other big thing there.
There's no RP, but it's just up now.
If they just back off together or all TP at the same time, a lot of those heroes not having TPs was the problem. They get Roshan, or at least see knowing take Roshan, but now Na'Vi aren't even going to get this Aegis. That's a huge pickup and boost to this Alliance squad.
The Chen creeps are coming in. Havos does have a Hyperstone, but it's too late. Roshan about to fall. Everyone's in the pit for Alliance. It's not really the best configuration. The Aegis goes to Loda. BKB comes out from Bulldog, and now the chase is on. They found EGM on the backside. Throw him up. Drop him down. He gets forced back into a mech and easily lives. It was all his own doing. And now the Familiar is potentially next in line. Havos, he is the scariest hero right now on the map, but they can't actually kill him off. And, well, there's your hook. Finally, Funnick able to connect the one. He finds Bulldog. No more BKB. Bulldog in jeopardy here, but there's a clip. It's cooled down. Where's that RP? Loda, he actually, or rather, S4 canceled it. Dendy, he stole the Eclipse, throws it back the other way. Now the RP comes through onto Havos. Can Dendy steal this one too? It's still cooling down. He won't be able to get it off. Loda, though, chain stunned up, brought down once. If you bring him down once, you can probably do it again, but from long range, S4 drive-by, kills off Havos, and then skates on out of there now. Puppy on the run. Loda pursuing him out. Ake surrounded him. They've cornered this Chen. Dendy comes back in. He's stolen Skewer. He's going to use it. Goes on to S4. Where's that Fate Bolt? He's already used it in this fight. Picks up the double. He now Ghost Scepters Loda. Had a Lucent Beam. Just didn't expect the Ghost Scepter. Dendy blinks out. Dendy the Magician, but on the backside, Bulldog's finding more and more kills. And Dendy, as magical as it was, is it enough? The Cogs? No, it's another track kill. No. Now Bulldog into the fight again. This is going to be yet another hero dead. It's going to be a team wipe going the way of Alliance, most likely. Track onto Funnick. No 4-staff. No way out. He's going to fall as well. It's a team wipe. 27-24. Reverse team kill coming out from Alliance.
And like 4 of those maybe being track kills. So many tracks went out from Admiral Bulldog there. He just decimated Na'Vi in that fight, staying alive the entire time. They put too much effort into killing Luna, and when Loda has an Aegis, they can't really be throwing that much away. Havos paid for it with his life, and then Loda comes back. Havos is out of the fight, and they can't fight without Havos. He needs that Assault Crest up, and he needed to stay alive during that fight.
What an engagement. That one deserves like 5 replays. Yeah, just to catch it.
We asked how, like, game 1 can be topped, and Na'Vi Alliance is saying, well, easy.
Give Dendy Rubik and then put a lot of big spells in the game, and things get weird, things get wacky. If they didn't have Aegis there, though, that's an easy win for Na'Vi. Loda being back was the difference, because he comes back, and there was just no lockdown to deal with him at that point in the fight.
It's just so incredible, because so many games, like, teams are evenly matched up, but one team gets slightly ahead, then they just snowball out of control, and the game never really turns around. Even if it's a close game, it ends up with, like, a 10, 15k gold lead after 1-1 fight. But games between these two teams is so back and forth. Even now, it's very close. Just a 2 to 3k gold lead for Alliance, and this has been just an up-and-down roller coaster ride from the very start.
There were some one-sided games at Star Ladder, but a lot of that was just Alliance experimenting with their picks. We saw like the S4 Zeus in one game. I think it was even drafted against a Lifestealer, which, as Dignitas found out at TI3, is just not a good matchup at all. But for the most part, like you said, it's always blow for blow to the bitter end from both of these squads, and we'll try and reset and take stock of the game right now. Alliance up by 3k gold, 5k experience. Big items now coming out on Loda. He's picked up the Manta style. The next item probably going to be a Satanic or a Butterfly. As for Havost, very good mid-game items for him. The Armlet, the Vlads, but he has used up quite a bit of his inventory on mid-game items, not on late-game items. He doesn't have an Abyssal Blade. The AC is still yet to come, and he's out of inventory slots at that point.
It feels like he needs the AC as well as the Abyssal Blade now, and that's where getting items like the Vlads does slow that down. For Na'Vi, though, they have got good, like, just general farm across the board. Kuroki's picked up a plate mail. He's going to be building probably something like a Shiva's Guard here.
Guess who's almost got Ags? Oh, boy.
Boss.
Because if he had Ags in that last fight, he steals Eclipse and RP, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, because he'd stolen the Eclipse, and that's where S4 goes in. He sees that the spell seals on cooldown, and he doesn't have to worry about losing the RP to Dendy.
And honestly, like a good hook shot or a good out stun just sets up a perfect RP. Here comes Dendy, leaping forward, he's found EGM. The hook shot comes in, EGM though, 4 steps to freedom. He's gonna live. Oh man, they thought they had him, but they're gonna find Ake instead. S4, waiting in position. Blink Dagger gets canceled by the Poison Spray. Do they look to go in? Shackle holds Puppy in place. Leaping forward is Dendy. The stolen Wind Run, he's gonna try and isolate him, but here comes your Eclipse. RP as well. They've caught Dendy. There's no spell steal. There's no way out for Na'Vi. 3 are gonna fall, I think. Havost almost tanks through the damage.
Son of Magnuson.
Again. And they found 4. It's going to be another team wipe. More track kills going their way. Kuroki on the run. Are there any stomps? There are, but S4 just running circles around these poor Centaurs. Even the Centaurs aren't safe from the merciless onslaught of the Alliance.
One gets
the Swedes
stolen.
want more. They steal 1. The only creature left standing is this poor Alpha Wolf. Can it even run? Power shot. They're going to pursue it out. No mercy. Forget Eternal Envy. Alliance are the truly merciless bunch.
Yeah, they're going to get the Tier 2 tower. They're going to look to breach the high ground as well. Na'Vi won't tap out yet. This is maybe just one lane of Raxes, but this is going to be the 10k gold lead that we're used to seeing once a team starts to snowball. And Alliance are truly there. 2 team wipes in a row. Track gold just flooding in, and all of a sudden, they're just filthy rich. Magnus has 5k gold. EGM's going to be close to his side. The fight.
There's a butterfly for Loda almost. And even Ake, he'll have his BKB soon. The familiars just get off the triple stun, but the hailstorm of glaives won't matter. Easily going to take the Rax, and Alliance now 1 lane down, 2 to go.
Yeah, they're gonna back off. Chen re-steals the Centaur back. Dendy blinking. He's looking for a pickoff. He can't find anyone though. Aki gets scouted up by a Rocket Flare, but no hookshot to follow from Funnick.
I'm just worried about Navi's damage output now, Gods. Like, even if Dendy is stealing Eclipse as well as RP, do they have the follow-up? Because Luna's going to have Butterfly soon, and then Satanic's not far off. There's massive BKBs being picked up. Bulldog, Loda have had theirs. S4 has his, or rather, Ake has his, and S4 will probably be going for his with this 5.8k gold that he has. The Hex is coming. There's just... I think Na'Vi are really starting to lack in just the right-click damage department. Yeah,
I think they've just got to start turtling up. They've got to say, look, we're not going to win the next fights in the next 5 minutes because Alliance just got about a 10k gold income. Their items are just going to be through the roof. Magnus has an Assault Crest in a second. And for that Na'Vi, it's like, okay, sit back, turtle it up, wait for Alliance to get too aggressive. We'll have maybe an Assault Crest on Havost, as well as starting to build a Basher, Abyssal Blade, whatever he may want to get.
Magnus has his Assault Crest before Alchemist.
Yeah.
That is not something you see very often in a game of professional Dota. Very, very unusual.
Very rare indeed, but we're going to have to see what Na'Vi can do to turn it around. Not just the Havost Alchemist need to farm, but Dendy on the Rubik with the Aghanim Scepter, he has to make sure he can still RP in these fights. That's, to me, is the big thing here.
And the Axe isn't out yet. He needs more gold for this. Still 400. He could sell his Magic Wand if he's desperate, but The one thing with the Aghanim's Rubik is when you do get the Ags, your mana pool depletes almost instantly in these fights. You throw out a Fade Bolt, a Lift, you steal one spell, you use it. Like, you look at Eclipse, 250 mana, RP, 300. That's, like, going to be a third of Dendy's mana pool. In fact, a little bit more automatically, so it's where he needs the Magic Wand.
The main thing is just steal RP. Stealing Eclipse is nice and stuff, but if you don't get the RP as a result, you lose the fight. So the RP...
And there's so many BKBs, it's not that relevant.
The Eclipse, the Bounty Hunter as well as Luna both having BKBs. Magnus has decided not to go for one this game, deciding the 4 stuff against the Clockwork obviously being very nice, and the Assault Crest is maybe what's going to give Alliance the edge here as they try and end this game 35 minutes in.
Look at this 3-position, maybe even 2-position Windrunner for EGM, running around with 12,000 gold as an offlane Windrunner against the dual lane, even with Chen there. Now the glaives start to bounce through, and now the tower's in jeopardy. EGM fishing for a shackle, looking to make a play on the sidelines is Funnick. Both heroes thinking about an initiation. He does get off the shackle, but in comes Big. Bad Havos, he gets troll trapped up, and S4's waiting. They want to focus him, but he's going to blink away to safety just out of the acid spray he was. Now the stun being channeled. Havos, he doesn't have a BKB here, just lobs it. What was the range on that thing?
What was the range, and even having vision there?
This guy's got a cannon for an arm, I'll tell you.
And EGM shackle, not gonna land.
If that hits, then they go in, because they had the Blink RP, Blink 4-staff RP.
Maybe Puppey saves him with a sendback, but then Na'Vi are fighting without Havos.
Oh, they do get off a Hex here. Loda unloads with a Lucent Beam, just starting this fight off. On the backside is Funnick retreating out.
Getting to
They're
just trying to get track vision now. Track as many heroes as you can before the fight breaks out. Not entirely just for the gold, but also just for vision. When you're pushing high ground, pushing tier 3s, having vision by using track is very, very useful.
And if they can just track this damn Rubik, then good luck to Dendy stealing RP. He is the most important hero to track in these fights, along with maybe Clockwork, but I would say Dendy even more important. Now they found a Vost again. He is going to be held in position. Frostbane, remember, no BKB on him, but
they won't overcommit.
He's tanky enough that they don't really want to go on him. 170 HP regen a second when the heart's active.
They'll happily just throw a shack on him, throw a couple nukes, but they're not going to fully commit to going on a boss. That is just a bad way to take this fight.
I think he heals in like 20 seconds, I want to say. Less than 20, maybe?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Alliance, though,
absurd.
they're going to get this Aegis. Roshan respawns. They're there already. Na'Vi not in position to contest this.
Yeah, Aegis is going to fall. Cheese as well. Loda now. Butterfly up. Satanic coming soon. And once he gets that, I think it's just beyond a miracle for Na'Vi. Because where's the damage gods? They just don't have the physical damage.
I don't want to say they had this game, but when that second Roshan came up and Alliance, right after after Na'Vi failed to push the tier 3 tower and Alliance picked off 2 heroes and still Roshan,
that was
the turning point.
Yeah.
Until then, it was Na'Vi's game.
Yeah, they hadn't won the game, but up until then, they were in control of the game. Oh.
Still Shackle Shot. This is a nice build to have for the time being, but he's still going to be eyeing off the RP.
He needs the RP here. Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
being tracked, though.
Ooh, that's the problem for him. And constantly, the Shackles will fly out. Havos trying to bully them out, but I think if you're Alliance, you can just sit here, park, and wait for Loda to farm a few waves. He gets a Satanic, and then you just win the game. Yeah. He's going to have that Satanic very, very soon. 4,200 gold up on Loda. I think he's pretty much got it. I guess he's like 200 short.
More tracks coming in. 3 heroes tracked up, and they're all kind of seeing in different places. Dendy's is worn off, though, so he's ready to maybe try and go back in, but retracked already.
There they go. Shackle shot slightly off the mark. Loda says, screw it, I'm going in. Pops the BKB. Glaze bouncing through. I think it's maybe a little bit early on this BKB. The glyph's still available. It's not going to be used. The tier 3 has fallen. And Loda just retreats out. From the sides come Puppey. The track goes on to him. Kuroki in the middle of this fight. Keep your eyes on Dendy. He's got to steal something big here. Just the shackle for now. Thrown out by EGM. Havos gets locked down. Now the RP. All they care about is Dendy, and they're going to have their way with him. He'll fall. Havos is bought back, but it will not matter. Puppey dead. Funnick hexed up. GG from Na'Vi Alliance. They 2-0 them, KO them, and knock them down to the loser's bracket where Liquid is waiting.
EGM, the protector of rares, has managed to hold on to the Alliance fans, well, the Alliance betters out there, and a 2-0 victory for Alliance. That was a fantastic series, I've got to say. S4 in that last fight, he had one prerogative, and that was to make sure he catches out Dendy. Make sure there's no way he steals the RP by killing him in that RP. Solo RP used for Dendy, and that is some serious respect to the man on Rubik.
It's respect to Dendy, and it was also just a sign that Havos just did not have the late game damage to be a threat. If he had, the Abyssal Blade, maybe a Satanic or a Butterfly instead of the Vlads and Armlet, then maybe they have to RP him, but just didn't hit hard enough at that point.
Na'Vi also were forced in, because Loda popped the BKB very early, but that's just because he's like, I just want to get this tower. With the damage he had, he was like, okay.
Na'Vi actually had Glyph there, but just decided not to use it.
He was just daring Na'Vi to go on him, and Na'Vi, Funnick went on the backlines with his hook, but he had no real way to fight. He had to force stuff out, and Na'Vi just didn't have enough farm in the late game to take those fights.
So, in the end, Alliance take it convincingly 2-0
Yes.
over Na'Vi. This is after Na'Vi took them down in the Starlighter Grand Finals, and after Alliance beat Na'Vi in the winner bracket finals. So, these teams really going blow for blow. They could face again, though, Gods. We have our loser bracket finals. It will be Alliance versus Liquid best of 5 at a date to be determined.
Liquid versus Na'Vi.
Oh, Liquid versus Na'Vi, yeah.
Alliance in the grand finals. They're going to be awaiting the winner of those two teams. So 2 best of 5s remain in the WePlay Dota 2. $25,000 up for grabs. $2,000 of that already claimed by Empire. They finished 4th place, but these 3 teams all still with a shot at that $13,000 first place.
Who are your rares on? Na'Vi versus Liquid. Last time these two teams played, it was 2-1 for Na'Vi. Yeah, it was 2-1 for Na'Vi. Liquid actually took game 1 with a stand-in, PPD, and then they lost games 2 and 3.
And the time before that, Liquid beat Na'Vi when Havos couldn't play, I believe. Was that in the that was in the previous group stage? That was in phase 2. In phase 2, Liquid won their group beating Na'Vi, but then in phase 3 in the playoffs, maybe I'm getting this mixed up.
I think you're right. And then in phase 3 they actually beat them. But no, phase 3 they played Empire.
Yeah, phase 3 they haven't actually versed each other yet. This will be their first matchup, but they met in the phase 2 group stages.
As well as the Dota 2 Champions League, and Liquid took that one 2-1 as well. So, well, Liquid, they've beaten Na'Vi in the past, but it does seem like in the big games, Na'Vi seems to get a little more serious.
Yes, this is down to 3 teams. Na'Vi in the home stretch are as strong as anyone. Even losing a winner bracket finals, if they make it through, get to the grand finals, and have a best of 5 against Alliance, you still can't say Alliance are favorites in a best of 5. If anything, it's 50-50, and maybe like a tiny edge to Na'Vi just because of that kind of veteranship.
Well, Alliance is waiting. Who's it going to be, Na'Vi or Liquid? For today, we don't have that answer for you guys. That Alliance versus Liquid match, as far as we know, has not been scheduled yet. Liquid is heading on to Korea soon to play in the OGN Super Invitational. But as soon as we have a date, we'll announce it on twitter.com/BeyondTheSummit. You can also follow me. I'm LD, twitter.com/LDDota, as well as Gods here.
I'm twitter.com/BTSGods.
If you want updates on this tournament or anything else we're covering, that's the best place to go. If you enjoy the stream and want to support us, feel free to subscribe. But I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and if you missed any of the games, of course, all the VODs are available on our fantastic YouTube channel.
YouTube.com/BeyondTheSummit.tv. Guys, thanks for joining us. WePlay Season 2, not yet over, but we're getting close. Still 3 teams remain, but after our next 2 games, only 1 can be Kana. Right now, Alliance, they've got the inside track to first place. We're going to take a break. We'll see you guys tomorrow for WPC Ace.